Hey, what's up, guys? And a very happy Tuesday. Only a couple of you on right now, but hopefully we'll get a couple of more folks to join in as we go through our discussion. Our discussion's only going to be about 15 or 20 minutes, maybe 25 at the most. Not going to be an overly long discussion this evening, but hopefully if you have any sort of questions, comments, or concerns regarding the threat for some winter weather as we head into the overnight, hopefully I'll be able to answer those here in the coming minutes. If you are by chance watching this on the Fox 54 app, first and foremost, good evening. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please go over to my Facebook page, Chief Meteorologist Dressman. You can put your comments in the comment section, and hopefully I'll be able to answer those in real time. So again, just going to kind of give it a second just to get some folks here to join in. Again, I don't do Facebook posts. I don't do Facebook Lives as often as I used to. I used to do Facebook Lives almost every single day. Then I kind of got out of that habit for one reason or the other. But I always tell myself that maybe I should get back into them, and then I kind of never do. If you're also new to this page, welcome to the page. You probably got here over the last couple of days as we were talking about the threat for severe weather. Now we're talking about winter weather, and then it's going to get cold. Thank you for choosing to follow along, and I hope you'll stick around. It's a fun ride. We like to have a lot of fun on this page while also talking and communicating about the weather. So I like to post a lot of things about the National Day of. I also recently acquired a dog, and so the dog tends to be consuming a number of my Facebook posts. So if you enjoy the weather, if you enjoy really potentially dumb jokes and National Day of whatever it ends up being, stick around. I think you'll enjoy. Stewart says, good evening from Layton over in Colbert County. Stephen says, hey there, Jordan. Hey, Stephen, I hope you're doing well as well. And Amber says, hello from Dutton. Well, hello, Amber. Thank you so much for joining in. We have Nina from Crossville, Stephen, Remlat, Brian, and Florence. Joyce in Atlanta. Probably going to get a little bit of snow over in Atlanta, too. Maybe just a little bit of rain over in Atlanta. We're going to get a little bit of snow across the Tennessee Valley. We're going to get a little bit of snow. We're going to get a little bit of, maybe we'll throw a little bit of sleet and freezing rain into the mix. And then some folks are just going to be disappointed because some folks are just going to end up getting a really cold rain late tonight and then early tomorrow morning. And that is going to be rather miserable. I am a very firm believer that there is almost nothing worse than a cold rain. Again, if you are watching this because you maybe got a push alert from the Fox 54 app, I would also encourage you, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, to head over to my Facebook page, Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. That's where the mainstream is. You can put your questions, your comments, or your concerns in the comment section, and I will do my best to answer them in real time. Radar looks nice and quiet for the time being. It's going to stay that way for the next couple of hours, not really anticipating any sort of immediate change across the Tennessee Valley. Brian says, still thinking of 1 to 2 inches for the shoals. Yeah, still thinking 1 to 2 inches for the shoals. At this point, the amounts really aren't going to change. The amounts really aren't going to be all that impressive this time around. But for the most part, yes, we are still talking about 1 to 2 inches for the shoals. And we're going to get to those snowfall totals here in a little bit. What I also want to talk about is where all of this is coming from. We're talking about an area of low pressure currently hanging out over different portions of Texas and Louisiana. Now there is a little bit of rain associated with this system, Texas, Louisiana, South Mississippi, maybe a little bit of rain across South Alabama, but at the same time there's also a lot of winter precipitation as you head up into Arkansas and then a little further north up into Missouri. We're talking about some snow back across the state of Tennessee and then up into Kentucky. All of that activity is eventually going to push its way into the Tennessee Valley as we head into the overnight and then, of course, through the earliest hours of your Wednesday morning. Winter weather advisory extends from Oklahoma and Texas all the way over to the Carolinas, North Carolina, sitting under a winter weather advisory. We're also talking about a winter weather advisory across the Tennessee Valley. That winter weather advisory is going to go into effect at 9 o'clock tonight, and it is going to run through 11 a.m. on Tuesday. The main concern there, of course, going to be the threat of a little bit of snow, but then we're also throwing a little bit of frozen precipitation into the mix. And then at the same time, like I said, we are just throwing a little bit of straight liquid rain. So That's what we're going to be talking about. I don't think I wanted to show you guys the futurecast first. Here's what I want to do. I'm going to take the futurecast and I'm going to move it, and we're going to go back to the winter weather advisory. So winter weather advisory, 9 o'clock tonight through 11 a.m. tomorrow. That's what we're looking at. It does look like there's a winter storm warning further north up into the state of Tennessee, but they're expecting more snow than we are across the Tennessee Valley. So I just have a graphic here. I wanted to take this and I just kind of wanted to break it down. This is kind of point by point what I think is going to happen as we head into the overnight. Joy's watching from Huntsville, and Michael is watching from home. Michael says, if you were to name a winter storm after your wife without using her name, what would you name it? Oh, that's good, Michael. See, this is why I need to get back into doing the Facebook Lives for these questions. These questions right here. I would probably name it Flamin' Hot Cheeto or Hot Chips, because that is my wife's favorite snack. Flamin' Hot Cheetos, or the Chester's Flamin' Hot, the kind of the off-brand of the Cheetos brand. They're called Chester's. So I feel like maybe we would have Winter Storm Chester. I think that's what we might have. We might have Winter Storm Chester, which I think would be fun. Let's see here. Stuart says, for the most part, I can handle the snow better than the ice. The only concern, though, is for those that had damage from the tornadoes over the weekend, especially trying to find a place to stay. Yeah, I do know, Stuart, that a couple of folks are still without power over in northwest Alabama. I know the crews are working incredibly hard, and hopefully they can get that power restored sooner rather than later. Winter storm is flaming hot. See, that it's a contradiction is what it is, Michael. It's a contradiction. So let's take the winter storm and let's kind of break it down point by point. This is what's going to happen as we head into the overnight through the early and middle part of Wednesday morning. Snow and a couple other forms of precipitation are going to move into the Tennessee Valley very early Wednesday morning. And I'll show you this in Futurecast. Looks like it's going to be 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning when that precipitation is going to move into and through the Tennessee Valley. Any precipitation is going to end by the later part of Wednesday morning. By the time we get to the lunch hour, it does look like we are going to be dry across the Tennessee Valley. So this is going to be a very short-lived thing. The precipitation is going to kind of move in and move out without much of a second thought. It's really not going to stick around very long. I cannot place enough emphasis that we are not talking about an event even closely similar to the event that moved through the Tennessee Valley in the middle part of January. Obviously, that was a really big weather maker across the Tennessee Valley. This is not going to be that. The snow is going to move in, and the other forms of precipitation are going to move in about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and they're going to be out of here by the time we get to 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. Now, there are a couple of things working to our advantage. Given the temperatures and the fact that the roads are pre-treated, this should be a low impact event across the Tennessee Valley. Now, I can't speak for all of the roads. I'm sure a lot of the side roads aren't pre-treated, but I know a lot of the main roads are pre-treated. I saw somebody commented on my Facebook earlier that some of the roads over in northwest Alabama were actually pre-treated yesterday. That combined with the anticipated temperatures is going to play to our advantage. See, that pre-treat, that's meant to work under incredibly cold conditions. Temperatures can drop incredibly low before that pre-treat becomes ineffective. And what we're going to be talking about late tonight and early tomorrow morning is not going to be cold of that magnitude. We're only talking about temperatures that are going to drop into the mid and upper 20s, and at times, some of us are only going to be into the lower 30s, which means that pre-treat is going to work phenomenally well. The only thing that would inhibit that pre-treat from really doing its job, I think, would end up being the threat for any sort of rain. If we get a lot of liquid rain into the Tennessee Valley, the temperatures haven't dropped enough before the precipitation gets here, then the liquid rain could wash away some of the pre-treat, and at that point, I think we would begin to see problems. But for the most part, the temperatures combined with the pre-treat going to do some good for us across the Tennessee Valley. Here's Futurecast, 10 o'clock tonight, just a couple of hours from now. We're dry across the area, sitting under a mostly cloudy or an overcast sky but we are dry. And it's also worth noting here that temperatures are currently sitting, or are going to be sitting, in the mid and upper 30s, 34, 35, 36 degrees across the Tennessee Valley. Now, pavement temperatures are going to be a couple of degrees warmer, and that is a really important distinction that I think we need to make. So air temperatures are going to be in the mid and upper 30s. Pavement temperatures, I would anticipate, are going to be in the upper 30s and lower 40s. We climbed into the upper 40s this afternoon, so I think pavement temperatures are going to be a couple of degrees warmer. Again, that's going to play well for us because it's going to take longer for the pavement to cool off than it is the air. So if we're starting the pavement at a higher point, well, it's got further to fall before the pavement temperatures reach that freezing point. Again, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please put those in the comment section, and I will do my best to answer them in a timely manner. 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, beginning to see some precipitation build into the Tennessee Valley, specifically across northwest Alabama, up across southern middle Tennessee. At this point, air temperatures sitting in the low and mid 30s. Still too warm to support much in the way of any sort of snowfall. But here's the other thing. Precipitation is showing up on Futurecast at 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be hitting the ground. There is a lot of dry air across the Tennessee Valley, so we're going to have that to work through. And until we can work through that dry air, I don't think we're going to see a lot of precipitation, which is why I don't really think the precipitation is really going to begin to fall across the Tennessee Valley until 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, when we kind of erode away at that dry air. Here's Futurecast, 3 o'clock in the morning. So we're talking about a couple of different things across the Tennessee Valley, and I want to kind of break these down and talk about each of these individually. First and foremost, it does look like we are going to be talking about some snow. Just snow across northwest Alabama. Lauderdale, Colbert, Franklin County, Lawrence County, maybe a good chunk of Limestone County, portions of Morgan County. Temperatures do look like they are going to be low enough to support just straight snow. It's not going to be particularly heavy snow, but it does look like temperatures are going to be such that we can see just straight snow across the Tennessee Valley. Then you get to the I-65 corridor and points to the east. Temperatures are going to be a little bit higher. We're either A, talking about a little bit of snow mixed with a little bit of liquid rain, or we might also begin to see some frozen precipitation built into the mix. Still, air temperatures are in the lower 30s. Pavement temperatures probably going to be in the mid 30s. So even at this point, I think we would have some problems getting anything to stick on the pavement. Now, that's not really a problem. It ends up being a good thing. But I think at this point in the morning, I don't think we're going to have a lot of sticking to the pavement. Good news there. Then you get to northeast Alabama. Temperatures still in the mid and upper 30s. Jackson, DeKalb, and Marshall counties. Those folks are just simply going to be talking about a really cold, miserable rain at 3 o'clock in the morning. Even our friends in southern Madison County, you're talking Owens Crossroads down into New Hope, those folks could also be talking about just a really cold rain or a little bit of frozen precipitation. And then we kind of move through the course of the morning, and a lot of this activity is going to come to an end very quickly. 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, we're still talking about that really cold rain over in northeast Alabama, and then we're just kind of talking about a couple of rogue snow showers elsewhere across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. But again, this is not really going to be a prolonged event. By the time we get to the later part of the morning, early into the afternoon, it does look like we are going to be nice and dry across the Tennessee Valley, right? And this whole thing will have come to an end. I want to show you snowfall totals. Snowfall totals are going to be less than impressive across the Tennessee Valley. Really not a whole lot to get excited about here. Some of our friends over in northeast Alabama, they're not going to get any snow. Maybe just a couple of flakes here and there, but otherwise they're not really going to get any snow. The vast majority of us are talking about anywhere between 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches of snow. Maybe closer to 2 inches across northwest Alabama, maybe closer to 2 inches up across southern Middle Tennessee, but the vast majority of us are only talking about 1/2 inch of snow to maybe 1.5 inches on the higher end of the spectrum. But temperatures are going to climb into the mid 30s on Wednesday afternoon, which means whatever does fall is just immediately going to melt. So pair the lack of snow with the fact that the roads are pre-treated, And in general, I tend to believe that this is going to be a rather low impact event. And we can kind of look at this. This is our winter impact index for Wednesday. Our impacts are going to be limited or minor. Now, what does that mean for you? Words like limited and minor. Well, it means that the weather is going to be a slight inconvenience. But is it going to trap you at home? No, probably not. Now, I understand a lot of the schools have delayed or canceled, and that's just a really good precaution that they're going to take, especially when it comes to the buses on the roads and whatnot. But I'm sure a lot of you still have work tomorrow. Now, as far as work, it's probably going to take you some extra time to get to work tomorrow. But I think for the most part, you're going to be fine. And again, pair that with the fact that the roads have been pre-treated. Now, that doesn't say much for the side roads. I know a lot of times the side roads don't necessarily get pre-treated, but a lot of the main roads have been pre-treated. So just allow yourself several extra minutes as you head out the door for work tomorrow. There's no need to try and speed to work if you just kind of slow it down, increase your following distance, all that good stuff, especially on the roads that do have a little bit of minor accumulation on them. You're going to end up being fine. Temperatures climb into the mid-30s tomorrow afternoon. Already talked about this. We climbed to right around 36 degrees. So again, whatever does fall is probably going to end up melting to where we won't have a ton of problems Wednesday night early into Thursday morning. The folks that are going to have problems are going to be the folks in the higher elevations and then the folks in the shaded locations where there could still be a little bit of accumulation sitting on the roadways. Those folks are going to want to take it easy. Let's talk about temperatures Wednesday night early into Thursday morning. Those are really going to begin to fall across the Tennessee Valley, right? We're going to have no problems dropping into the mid and upper teens across the area. So it is going to be really cold Wednesday night early into Thursday morning. So we're going to get done talking about the snow and we're going to immediately begin talking about the cold. So bear that in mind. And then you have the 7-day forecast. 36 degrees on Wednesday, 28 on Thursday, 38 degrees by the time we get to Friday. So a cold couple of days across the Tennessee Valley. We start Thursday right around 16. We start Friday right around 15. Now, we do get warmer both in the morning and in the afternoon by the time we get to the weekend and the early part of next week. So listen, that's what I've got for you guys. Thank you so much for choosing to watch this Facebook Live. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, again, put those down in the comment section and I will do my best to answer them in a timely manner. And of course, if you missed anything, you can go back and watch the replay of this once I hit the end button. And then of course, you can also watch Fox 54 News tonight at 9 o'clock. Otherwise, I will see you guys later and have a great night.